There's one parenting mistake that we parents make all the time, even though sometimes we may not realizing that we are making this mistake. We make this mistake all the time, myself included. And this mistake is costing our children their confidence, their motivation, and their future success. So in this video, I will show you what this mistake is about. I will show you the science, the research behind this mistake. I will also inform you and empower you regarding what to do next time when you run into a challenging situation in your own parenting journey. And you are going to walk away from this video feeling a lot more empowered as a parent for teenagers and young adults. So who am I to talk about this? My name is Dr. AI. I'm an award-winning college professor turned life coach. I specialize in serving teenagers and young adults, helping them overcome procrastination, self-doubt, fear of failures, and enhancing their executive functioning skills so that they can elevate and reclaim their confidence and motivation so that your kid can achieve success in school and beyond. So let's get started with today's training topic. What is this parenting mistake that I have been talking about? So this parenting mistake is how we as parents, how we react when our children mess up, when our children make a mistake, when our children forget their homework, when our children get a really bad grade, when our children are struggling, when they are failing, when they are not doing what they are supposed to do. So how we react when our children are struggling. Are we panicking? Are we overreacting based on their challenges? So in other words, the mistake is on the surface, it is about how we react to our children's challenges, mistakes, and struggles in life. But on a deeper level, it's about us, how we react to failures, rejections, and struggles in life. And the more we overreact, screaming at our children, yelling at our children, the bigger this mistake is going to become, and the more negative impact that this yelling, screaming, overreacting is going to have on our children's confidence, motivation, and long-term success. So I'm going to use two really powerful learning models to explain this mistake to you. And the first learning model is from this book. Again, as always, I will link this book in the description box. And this is really my favorite. I'm laughing because I say this a lot. This is really one of my favorite books. As you can see that I took lots of notes when I was reading this book. So in this book, and there is one entire chapter, which is chapter 2. And I will show you here. Look. Can you see the title for chapter 2? Isn't that powerful? So the title for chapter 2 is Why We Should Love Mistakes, Struggle, and Even Failure. Look at that. Love. Why we should love mistakes, struggles, and even failures in life. What? And by the way, this book is written by a professor at Stanford University, and this professor is teaching math. So a math professor at Stanford University, solid research in this book. So the entire chapter 2, is talking about not why we should be afraid of mistakes, why we should be ashamed, we should be disappointed, we should feel like a failure, nothing like that. Why we should love mistakes. And here's this entire chapter. So here you can see the signs of mistakes, the positive impact here. So that you know I'm not lying to you. The positive impact of mistakes. And so this book made such a compelling argument, which is that when our children, when a learner is struggling, is making mistakes, and guess what? That is also the time that the learner's brain is developing, is growing the most. What? So in this book, it shared studies after studies. When a learner, a student is struggling, when they are trying to get the correct answer, their brain is actually growing faster compared to a student who gets all the answers correct. So in other words, when we are struggling, our brain is actually growing more. What? So when I read this book actually a few years ago, but recently I decided to revisit the book. I was like, wow, this is so powerful. This is so powerful. So here, again, in the same chapter, I talked about very powerful learning model, which I have on my whiteboard. I'm going to share it with you. So the learning model is called the learning pit. Has different phases. From here, the happy phase, and then goes through a journey and eventually achieve success. So I'm going to read all of the 5 phases to you. So the first one, the blue color here, and this is where a learner is like, okay, I think I know the answer. The initial excitement, I'm so excited, I get this, I can't wait to get started. And I can so relate to this. When I was doing my PhD, even though so many people scared me, like, are you sure you want to do this PhD? This was quite a journey, but I was so confident in myself. I was like, you know what? I got it. I was so excited about this. But after 1 semester into my PhD, I was like, oh my God, this was so hard, way harder than I thought. And even my YouTube, right? So I recently restarted my YouTube journey after a long break. And I'm telling you, this is hard. So in the beginning, when I decided to restart my YouTube journey, I was like, yeah, I got this. I'm so excited. I can do this. I think after the first video, I was like, this is hard. This is the second phase. So after the first video, I was like, this is hard, right? Like what I mentioned earlier, after one semester into my PhD journey, I was like, wow, this was so hard. Even me, after I quit my job as a college professor and started working full-time as a life coach for teenagers and young adults, in the beginning, I was so excited. And then I ran into challenges. Then I was like, this is so hard. Being a teacher was so much easier. So this is a normal journey. And as you continue on this journey, you are going to hit rock bottom, which is the pit, which is the name of this learning model by James Nottingham, the pit. This is the place where a learner, your kid, is feeling confused, frustrated, and feeling like they want to give up. But this is not the place to give up. You can see from this learning model, if you keep going, if you keep pushing, and you are going to get to the last 2 phases, which is, wow, I just need to work harder at this, and then get to the last one, which is that I think I get this, and then eventually achieve success. But this is such a common journey. The pit is where most people give up. They feel like so frustrated. They feel like, oh, I'm such a failure. YouTube is not for me. PhD is not for me. Math is not for me. And this is not for me, that is not for me, and they decide to give up. But this is really the wrong place to give up. As you can see, this is a normal learning path, right? Here, I have a pencil here. If I drop my pencil is going to fall onto the table, gravity. So you can look at this learning model as the law of gravity. So if you continue on this journey, you are guaranteed to have success. But the problem is because most young people, they're like, I failed. I'm such a failure. This is not for me. That is not for me. And going back to the mistake that I was talking about, when our children are struggling, when they are panicking, when they are freaking out, and we as parents are like, what do I do? My kid, So we freak out, we overreact, we are feeling panicky. As a result, our children struggle. So that is the mistake. It is, as I mentioned earlier, our own relationship to challenges in life, to frustrations in life. The more that we can tolerate, the healthier relationship that we can have with negative experiences in life, the more likely we are going to empower our children to the final stage of success. So the pit is a normal part of learning. This is not the place to freak out. This is not the place to give up. This is not the place to create a story which is I'm such a failure. But this is almost what I hear all the time when students join my coaching program. They're like, Dr. I, please fix me. I'm such a failure. I'm such a procrastinator. I feel so hopeless about my future, all sorts of things. But they don't know they are actually going through a really normal learning journey. And I will use another learning model to make sure that I'm bringing this point home for you. So the second model is called the dip. And from, I'm going to say this again, one of my favorite books. This one is written by Seth Godin. I actually had the great honor to interview him on my podcast, which is also a YouTube video on this channel from 5 years ago, quite a few years ago. If you are interested, you can check out that video. So this whole book is also kind of talking about a learning journey. So let me share this with you. Here we are. Yes. Almost. Okay, good. Okay, I hope you can see this. Okay, yes, you can. So this is another model, the dip by Seth Godin. So on the vertical line, hope you can see it. The vertical line is effort. The horizontal line is effort. The vertical line is result. And you can see, right? So in the beginning, you put in lots of effort and you are actually also receiving lots of results. So this is the initial, I got this. This is so exciting. Oh yeah, I did the YouTube video. Yeah. So the initial, you are so naive. You don't know how hard this is, right? The curse of not knowing and you don't know. So you have that initial, but as you continue on the learning journey, at some point, you are going to hit rock bottom, the dip. The same as the pit. At some point, if you continue on the learning journey, you are going to hit the dip or the pit, the rock bottom. But again, this is not the place that your kid should give up. This is not the place that you, as the parents, should freak out, overreact, yelling, screaming, punishing. You're such a failure. I'm so ashamed of you. You're so disappointed. You're such a disappointment. All of that, it is not going to work. We just need to accept this is a normal part of the learning journey. As you continue on this journey, just like the law of gravity, your kid is going to eventually achieve success. So those are the two models to help you understand this number one parenting mistake. In other words, how we react to challenges, failures, rejections in life is going to influence our children. The more we overreact when our children are struggling, when they are messing things up, when they are panicking, the more we overreact, the stronger a message that we're sending to our children. Challenges are bad, mistakes are bad, failures are bad. No. Why? Because I just explained to you from this book, chapter 2, when our children are struggling, guess what? Their brain is actually growing the most. Their brain is developing the most, not when your kid is getting all the questions correct. Their brain is developing the most when your kid is struggling. Please write it down, take a screenshot of this, pause my video because this is so important. This is what 99% of the parents do not understand. When our children make a little bit mistake or we freak out, we feel like their future is ruined, we feel like there's no future. And this is exactly the language I hear from the students in my coaching program. When they made a few mistakes, small mistakes, like they got a bad grade in a quiz, they feel like their college career is over, their future career is over. No, nothing like that. Let me tell you, almost all the books I read, there is a chapter on the positive impact of mistakes, on how much our brain is actually growing as a result of challenges and mistakes. So, to summarize today's video, there are two key points I want to make. Number one is that how we, as parents, how we are viewing challenges, mistakes, struggles, failures in life. We must, as parents, we must normalize failures, rejection, mistakes, struggles in life. We have to. And we need to see struggles, challenges as mistakes as a positive signal that our children are learning something new, as a positive sign that our children are actually stepping outside their comfort zone. I have a quick story to share with you. So I have 3 boys. My oldest one is a fencer, so he really enjoys fencing. He does lots of fencing tournament, and I cannot tell you how many times when we attend a fencing tournament, all the coaches, the parents, there is so much yelling and screaming and sometimes spanking at many of those fencing tournaments. It is always like, oh wow, quite an eye-opening experience for me. But you know what? I share with my children. So this is actually a great example to illustrate this point, because parents, they cannot handle challenges, failures, rejections in their children's lives because they have such a bad relationship with such negative experiences, because they don't understand their children's brain is actually growing the most when they are struggling, when they are failing. They don't understand that. So they overreact. Then the more we overreact, the more our children feel like, oh, look at me. I'm so ashamed of myself. So almost at every single fencing tournament, there's like always tears, all the young people crying, even though some of those people, young people, they did pretty good. They're still yelling and screaming. But yeah, because the parents, they do not understand this learning model. They have a really bad, unhealthy relationship with moments like the dip or moments like the pit, and their unhealthy perspective regarding challenges in life is really affecting their children. But you are here, you are watching this video, and I challenge you and I invite you to have a healthier perspective on challenges, frustrations, mistakes in life, and understand that when our children are struggling, it means that their brain is actually growing the most. And this is, if you were in my coaching program right now, this is exactly what I teach parents in my coaching program, that they need to have a healthier relationship with challenges in life. And the second one is that you have to empower, right? Just because this is a normal journey, it doesn't mean that we need to let our children struggle on their own, right? Something I always share with parents is that struggles, mistakes, failures are not bad. What is bad is that we allow our children to struggle alone. If, as parents, you can, when your kid is here, if you can provide them with coaching support to help them enhance and empower their mindset so that they can succeed with the challenge, they can succeed with the dip. And this is empowering. This is empowering our students, our children to succeed with their challenges. This is what I call the empowerment model, in contrast to the shaming model, the yelling model, that I'm so disappointed in your model. That model is outdated. It does not work. This is the model that I adopt in my coaching program. Almost all the children, when they join my program, they feel like something is wrong with them. I will be the first person to tell them there's nothing wrong with you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to empower you. So when your children are at moments like this, so can you please provide them, if you know how to do this yourself, do it, right? But if you don't have the skills to coach your children, go find the support that you can provide to your children so that they can take advantage of those challenging moments and develop the skills, the mindset they need to become more resilient, to become the leader they are meant to be. And this is exactly the process I go through in my coaching program. And if you can do this really well, like imagine a young person is no longer afraid of the dip. It's no longer afraid of those low moments in life. Actually, instead, they're rolling up their sleeves like, come on, challenge, come on, mistakes, I got you. I know how to navigate through this. And when they come out of the challenges, they actually become a stronger person. And that is exactly what we hope for in our children. They know how to navigate through challenges so that they have the skills, they have the muscle to become the leader they are meant to be in life. Because life, And even school comes with uncertainty. Life definitely comes with uncertainty. Okay, so let me know what you think about those two models, if they make sense to you. And also, I'd love to hear what is your relationship. I mean, how do you perceive challenges in your children's life? And if you are interested in having your kid work with me one-on-one, I invite you to apply to book a complimentary consultation with me. The application link is in the description box. Every family can only book one complimentary consultation with me. Space is really limited. You just need to fill out the application. If your application is approved, you and I will have a Zoom conversation, and I will hear you talking about your children's challenges, and I will give you customized feedback, and I will also tell you more about our one-on-one coaching program. Okay, and I also want to invite you. I have an upcoming 5-day challenge where I go a lot deeper on many of those topics. If you are interested in joining that challenge, the challenge is completely free. You can use the link in the description box to join that challenge. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and YouTube thinks that you should be watching the next video that you will be interested in learning more about. Thank you, and don't forget to comment and subscribe and like and share. And I believe the more parents can understand this model and have a healthier relationship with challenges and mistakes in life, the more successful children that we can raise collectively as a society. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.